We're looking at interior of the 20 Acura MDX technology. MDX serve you well on the interior? We're about to find out right now on Car Conversation. Very good about keeping the MDX's interior up to date almost every year. It is starting to feel a bit dated. Let's start with the door panel. You have some soft touch plastic along the top with brushed aluminum on the door handle and 2-person memory seats. Also, you will find perforated leather, brushed aluminum, and a nicely weather padded armrest with all of your switchgear. Underneath that, it will be finished in a hard touch plastic and you'll have a good amount of storage there. So, let's take a look at the seat adjustments. These are 12-way power adjusting, including the 4-way lumbar support, and you'll be sitting on perforated premium Milano seats that have bed support around the very low back. Alright, the cabin of the MDX is very welcoming. You have some controls down here, including brake hold. The steering wheel is nicely weather wrapped, however heated. Steering wheels are reserved for the Advance. The gauge cluster is nice, but since the competition is starting to offer fully digital displays, what we have on the MDX is nice, but nothing special. You do have a small but readable 4.2-inch display in the center. Alright, so that is that. Let's take a look at the materials. You have some soft touch plastic along the upper dash with some updated open pore wood that was updated in 2019. All of this will be finished in this matte black plastic unless you go for the Advance. You will have this small tray here that has wood trim and a place to set your phone. Alright, so interior storage is where the MDX rocks. You have tons of it. So you slide this back and then you have a good amount of space, but this actually connects to this big part right here. So you open that and then you have this and also the same area. In here you will have 2 USB-A ports, an aux jack, 12-volt power outlet, and this place to put a USB cord for Apple CarPlay or Android Auto. Alright, let's take a look at the shifter. Easy. Push for drive, push again for sport, and then you have neutral, and you pull this toggle for reverse. So the mirrors will tilt down, and you do have active trajectory. Great to have that. And you can put this enter button to change the view, so you can now look straight down. We'll keep it at that for now. Of course, push for P. Alright, so now let's take a look at the climate controls. This is kind of confusing, and I don't blame you if you are confused. So, you have some physical buttons here. You can physically adjust your temperature, or you can use the slider on here. Really weird. You also have 3 stages of heated seats, no ventilated seats. Now you can adjust other things here. You can select this, anything you want, and you can turn on AC or anything. You can also adjust the airflow or the fan speed. Okay, so this can be weird and hard to use. This was great when it came out in 2014. Now, it's dated because what you get in the new RDX is really feeling up to date, and it's really weird if you have Apple CarPlay connected using it with this giant knob. Now, speaking of these buttons down here, this all controls the top screen. So you can push phone, that will bring you to phone info, and you have a trip computer. You have some other things like a clock, and then smartphone is for Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. And you also have a back button and this funky knob. So I'm using that knob. If you go to settings, you turn the knob right to go down, turn it left to go up. You can also make it go like that and push enter. Well, that's that. I do not want to forget that you have more storage there and a little relief, unwelcome. 12-volt power outlet, and you can close that up. And I like how they have a volume knob there. Acura used to not have that, and that was a complaint. So that is part of the interior. To wrap things up, you will have a standard size sunroof, and even the Advance will not have a panoramic. The passenger side is almost as good, if not better, than the driver's side. One plus, you don't get to drive. Door panel is basically the same perforated leather and olive ash wood trim. You also have a one-touch automatic window. Storage is abundant down below with one bottle holder as well. Seats will be 12-way power adjusting, and you'll be sitting on premium Milano perforated leather seats. Alright, right off the bat, pretty comfortable. Let me just get it the way I want it. I have this beautiful wood trim and brushed aluminum. Everything else is basically plastic. You can rest your arm here and there. Oh, before I forget, this slides, and I think that is pretty neat. To open the glove box, you just push that, and then you have a fair amount of space. So that's a pretty good thing. And that's about it. Let's go ahead and get into the more important section. Join me in the second row of the Acura MDX. So the door panel is pretty nice actually. Good amount of storage. Love the wood trim, leather padded armrest, and you will have one-touch windows. So that is pretty nice. And these seats do slide with a little bar right there. Okay, this seat does not want to slide for some reason. They will recline with that lever down there. Second row is pretty nice. I would like a panoramic sunroof. Even on the Advance, you do not get the panoramic sunroof. So it's pretty dark back here. And my iPhone 14 has action mode, and it needs a certain amount of light, and the lack of a panoramic sunroof is not doing it for the action mode. At least you have a seat back pocket and your third zone of climate controls and 2 USB ports with a cubby. So you do not have second row seat warmers. You will have to move up to the Advance. You can get an entertainment system. We don't have that here. And this one seats 7, so there will be a middle seat here. If you get the Advance, these will be captain's chairs. But you do have an armrest where you can put 2 big bottles. So, pretty neat back here. These windows are tinted, but no sunshade. That is Advance. It could not make it any simpler to get into the third row. There's a button on the back of the seat and a button down there. Push this button. This will fold down the seat. Do not pull this. Alright, so someone didn't take care of their car. So let's hop on in. Alright, so it's a little bit gloomy back here. You see the lighting is not that great. You do have a good view of everyone else though. It's a little bit tight back here. Good thing you can slide these seats, but that'll make it even worse for the second row passengers. You do have a cup holder on both sides and kind of an armrest. It's plastic though. Advanced model will throw in USB ports on the back of the center console that the Advanced model has. So that's a place to be in the MDX. Luckily, you can get out easily if you take care of your car. Multiple ways to open the tailgate of the Acura MDX. What is not included is the kick sensor under the bumper. Alright, so now we are in the cargo area of the 2020 Acura MDX. So behind the third row, you will find 15.8 cubic feet of cargo room. Fold down that third row, and then you'll get about 46.8 cubic feet of cargo. Second row for the class-leading 90.5 cubic feet of cargo room. That will be true if you push the seats forward. So you will have a false floor if I can get all of these floor mats up. So it does stay up by itself, but since all of these floor mats are on top of it, it's not going to. You can remove it to get your spare tire out. And you will have a cubby with a 12-volt power outlet. To close up the trunk, push the button up here.